Hello there. I hope you're well. I'm Hiramani and welcome to Get Set Global. My guest for today's show is an eminent actor from Assam. Um, Filled with charisma, he is a delight to watch on screen. And off screen, he sounds real and grounded. He's a great combination of a daring performer on screen and a conscious citizen of screen. Known as a good looking actor, he is one of the first Assamese actors to show the importance of fitness. The audience showers him with love for his on screen performance, and he's equally loved off screen too, for the person he is, for the positivity that he exudes, and the goodness that he spreads. And it's my great pleasure to have him today as my guest. Let's welcome the very charming Ravi Sarma. Hello, Robbie. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, really looking forward to this rendezvous.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, and it's a pleasure being with you. And thank you for the wonderful introduction that you've given.
It's a great pleasure. Okay, so while I was kind of reading about you, I felt that you're quite a combination because you have done many sports in life, from gymnastics to karate. Fitness is a big part of your life, daily life. And I have also read that you do your own stunts, all the dangerous stunts as well. So looking at all of that, the macho stuff, one can have a perception about you, but amazingly, you come across as grounded, and there is a politeness to your behavior. So, my question is, do you think that the physical training and the sportsmanship have been a big part in building your character and the person, the actor that you are today?
Uh, it really does actually, because sports teaches you a lot of things in life. And, the foremost thing is that you have to rely on your performance only, not the kind of facade that you maintain, not the kind of attitude that you carry, but it's all about performance. And it teaches you to take everything at your stride. Winning or you lose. Uh, Losing means you learn from your mistakes and do better next time. So this is the kind of an attitude that I have towards life, and it has helped me a lot coming from a sports background. And a person when he's thinking about his own life in a way that a sportsman thinks about his sport, everything becomes very easy. So
Okay.
this is how I am. And I think for the all-round development of a person, not just an actor,
Mm,
you need to have the combination of both the soft and the hard side. If you don't
mm.
have a proper combination, you're not perfect.
Yeah, so well said. And I somehow knew you will say in those lines because I think sportsmanship, like you have said, teaches you discipline, respect, honor, but also, kindness, like you have said, the softer side, inclusion, all of that, I think. And nothing is as black and white as sports. You are as good as your last game. So yeah, so wonderful to hear everything you have said. Now listen, your first film. I don't know if that was your first film, but Here Dia Nia was your biggest, first big hit, right? And since, yeah, so and since then you really made a mark in the Assamese film industry. Um, and I have heard you say this, that you actually didn't want to be an actor. You rather wanted to become, I think, join the army or the police. So, what was that all about? Was it the idea to serve the nation, or was it this whole thrill, the thrill of joining army?
At the age where you tend to, when you're, keen on choosing a profession, or when you're trying to build your career, what everybody looks after is the glamour part of it. So what happens is, when I wanted to, like somehow kind of fit in my masculinity, and the kind of adrenaline, rushing sport. So I
Yes.
thought the armed forces were the best. Yeah, I thought the armed forces were the best choice for me. But
Mm.
then I found out, when I met other policemen, senior policemen, probably my dad's friends, and they asked me something, that why do you want to join armed forces? I said, I want to serve the people. I want to. He said, nah, you want the glamour part of it. You want to carry a gun with you. You want to, wear an uniform and do your job. But do you really know what do they do? I said, I don't know. He said, you have to carry a diary all along, and you have to finish up files that have been pending since long. So that's the real picture of a policeman. I said, okay, that was a shock to me. Then came the other part where he asked me that if you're posted in a outpost, and there's no force with you, and you hear that somewhere there's a robbery going on, what would you do? Would you leave would you go to the spot, or you would wait for the forces to come? I said, I'll go alone. I wanted to be the hero kind of a
Of
thing,
course.
that always
Of
had
course.
been with me. So I said, I'll go. And he said, he told my father that don't let him join the armed forces, because someday he's going to shoot himself or his senior officer. So that's how it came to an end.
Right.
Then,
Yeah.
yeah, then Hiadiania came into, offer for Hiadiania came, and Mr. Munin Borua he wanted me to, be a part of it. It was a parallel lead character. So, and he was very happy to find out that I'm son of an actor. My
Yes,
mom
your
was
mother.
an actor, Vandana Sharma. Yeah, my mother. So he said this guy has acting in his blood, so he'll do it.
Mm.
You know,
Smart.
Despite having good looks, some people might not be good actors. So he said he has acting in his blood, so he'll do it. Don't worry. So he came and approached, and I did not want to be an actor, because I've seen the dark side of acting. Because whenever I went to see a shooting with my mom, I saw retakes happening one after the other. I don't know why they're doing it. They say action and they say cut. They say action and they say cut. I didn't know at that time. So that is one reason. That was one reason why I did not want to be an actor, because I thought the job was very boring. Secondly, I was scared to put lipstick on, because I had a notion that people used to apply a lot of makeup, and I didn't know how I was going to answer to my friends who would ask me, "तो makeup lone ki? Do you put makeup?" So
Mm.
no, how would I
Okay.
answer that question? So I did not want to be an actor. So those were two reasons why I did not want to be an actor.
So
But
what
fortunately,
happens?
my dad,
Mm.
yeah, my dad told me something very important, which immediately, I understood the importance of being an actor. He said, have you observed actors, great actors like Amitabh Bachchan, like Anthony Hopkins? What are they? I said, they're actors. And my dad said, before being actors, they are great personalities.
Mm.
So acting equips you with the kind of knowledge and the insight, to face the world. You're not scared to face the world. You don't have stage fright. You're not you're ready to face the president of United States, to the cobbler. You're ready to talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime. That's what acting equips you with. You get
Oh,
to see yourself from behind. People don't get to see them from behind, because That only happens in case of a camera.
Mm,
If there's a camera not involved, you don't get to see your behind. So
that's true.
it prepares you in that kind of a way. So think about it. So that's how I did my first film here, the Ania, and it was a very tough job for me because the actors which I had been, I grew up watching great actors like Nipon Goswami, Jotin Bora, and others, of course, senior actors. So I was really scared, I don't know how would I be, would they be comfortable working with me because I'll be learning. It'll be like a school for me. I might not be, as professional as they are, but I did good. I did a very, I could not justify my character very well if you ask me today.
Sure.
Because today when I see that film, I think I could have done much better with the kind of experience that I have of around 25 years now. But
Mm,
then, but I somehow pulled through. And when I was showered with the love of the people, and people, I did not have to go and um, introduce myself. People already knew who I was. That kind of became an addiction, and I stayed back,
mm.
and I wanted more. So this is how I stayed back, and I'm still here.
Right, wonderful. I mean, when you said that if you look back now, that you're not very proud of what you have done, but I think that's what an artist, any creative field is like, isn't it? Everything you do feels like I could have done better. But I actually do remember here, the near time, how you were almost a rage because you came as so fresh. So, and yeah, people absolutely loved it. But did you get used to putting on lipstick?
No, fortunately, I did not have to. The makeup
Okay.
artist that we had,
Mm.
Jugenda is no more. I really miss him a lot. But Jugenda, he told me that he always used to tell me, "Do you know what makeup is?" I said, "No." He said, "Makeup is just psychological touch. When I touch you, I put a little foundation so that the light does not shine.
Mm.
It does not reflect back. So this is all I'm going to do. Don't worry. You don't need much of makeup." So what about my lips? He said, "Stop smoking." He said, "Simply stop smoking, and you'll have good lips."
And you did.
So this is how it is. Yeah, yeah. So this is how he made me very comfortable, and I loved his work. So
Brilliant.
I
I
got
think,
used to makeup.
I mean, hearing your story feels like you actually got so many great people on your way, your father, and then the makeup artist, they all taught
But
you something amazing, don't you think? Okay, listen, there is a
right.
question while we are talking, and someone called Roy Sorkar, and he says that please ask Ravi as to how does he see a role or a character he is performing in a movie. So how do you approach a role? Basically, he's asking.
See, there are certain hidden questions that we don't get the answers in the script, like the age of the character, the profession that he is in. Sometimes it is not portrayed well. It's not established well in a script what my profession is. But we actors have to think about it first, because that is how our dressing sense will be. That is how our mannerisms will be, and then the age of the character will determine the kind of the weight that the character carries. So that is the second thing. And then I read the script over and over, and then I try and understand. I talk to the director, and he gives me the the building blocks, how I build my character, and then
Right.
I simply perform, and I get in the character and let the character do the rest of the acting. I just react. That's all.
Awesome. Okay, so I hope that answers Roy's question. So we got to know about how it all started, and I think you can't complain how things turned out for you for sure. And
No, I
it's not
cannot.
just no, you can't because Looking at your profile, I think, name, fame, money, success, all that comes, but you also get a lot of love from people. I think that's very,
Absolutely.
very special. And of course, all the female attention. That's not a bad thing to have either. And talking about female attention, let's talk about your love life quickly before we get into more acting, career questions. So your wife, Moitri, I think you met her at a film set. Um,
Yeah.
and so, yeah, so was it love at first sight? Do you believe in it? And I have also heard that you got hundreds and hundreds of marriage proposals from girls. Is that true?
Well, that's true, but I don't think that's something I really need to boast about because I'm thankful to every one of them because whoever approached me or whoever wanted to be in a relationship with me definitely admired me a lot, and that admiration gave me a lot of confidence, and that is the confidence that I carry today when I'm working on screen, off screen. So I'm really thankful to each and every one of them. See, it doesn't work out every time, and I honestly don't believe in love at first sight. I'll tell you, I'll tell you about it later. But I don't believe in love at first sight. Love is something that takes time to grow, and for me, that's what happened. And you see, we have requirements in our lives. It's not just another person. It is somebody who fills up places, spaces that we can't fill by ourselves. So it takes
Right.
time. It's not just any female would do. It's not like that. It's like somebody who can fill up the spaces, so, who can do certain things that I cannot do. That is how we complete our world. And when I met my wife for the first time in a shoot, I never thought about it that way. I never thought about her that way. But when I went to the mobile theaters and I met her again, and when I saw her, I could see the kind of management capability that she had, which I did not. I was kind of a person who goes with the flow. If I like it here, I'd stay back. If I don't like it here, I'll leave. I was that kind of a boy. But when I met her, I could see that this woman could make my life better. She can fill up the spaces that I cannot. She could take care of things that I cannot. So that is how she came into my life. That is how she stayed back. That is how we're still continuing. And this is the reason, and that's the reason, that we really understand each other. It's been 14, 15 years now, 14 years complete, and
Lovely.
we still feel that it's just like we got married yesterday. We never felt that this is 14 years. It's only because of the reason that we are like friends. I don't go out anywhere. I don't go out partying. I stay back home. Even if I feel like having a few drinks, I drink at home. I stay back home. I never go out. I never go out. Uh,
Oh,
when I go out, it's either for work or some kind of job that cannot be done from home. Otherwise, I'm home.
okay,
So this
great.
is the yeah, this is the kind of relationship that I had been looking for, and this is the kind of relationship that we're maintaining right now. So
So wonderful.
I really don't believe in love at first sight. Honestly, it's very deceiving.
It
It
is.
might work
It
for
is.
some lucky person, I don't know, but never it never worked for me.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm very happy right now with my wife, and we have twins, a son and a daughter,
Yeah.
and that's even more reason for me to stay back home. Yeah, so
Mm,
life's wonderful.
absolutely. So good to hear all of that. I mean, clearly you broke many hearts, but then I think you settle for the best. You settle for the best. And like you said, you have a beautiful family now. So yeah, love and wishes to them. So coming to acting side of things. Now I have heard this many actors saying that they observe life. They observe people around them, and they pick up nuances from real life, and then they use them in building character and while playing a role. Is that something you identify with when in your acting method?
Mm, yeah, it's that's true because see, our profession, acting is one profession which is different from the rest of the world because, firstly, is that you know uh, we are not loved by people because we're famous. We are famous because we are loved by people, first of all. So that's something very different,
Mm,
which is associated with acting. First point. Second point is that acting is the only job which has got no time limit. You're doing a job all the time. Even if you're not shooting, you're in the gym, you're working. Even if you're not shooting, not in the gym, and you're outside, you're observing people, you're still working. Even if you're not doing any of these things, probably
mm,
you're sleeping, probably you're improving the health of your skin, probably you're taking care of your hairs. So you groom. So this is one job, one profession where we're working 24 hours. Because even when I'm sleeping, I'm thinking about stories, believe me, I swear. Even when I'm sleeping, I'm thinking about stories. Okay, this could be like this could be this character could have so many dimensions. I know I would be, I would love to work on this character, those kind of things. So ours is the only profession where we're working all the time. Even if you're not doing any of the things that I just said, somebody is observing us, so we are being very, very conscious all the time. So even that's
mm,
work.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Somebody watching you all the time is work. Okay, someone is saying your voice is not very clear. I can hear you very clearly. I don't know what else we can do, but I can.
Maybe I should hold it like this.
Okay, that maybe do is the best way. Yeah, okay. All right. No, thank you
Yeah,
for
yeah.
saying what you said. And um, I have also heard, I think you would be better off to say this, you know this better, that also actors, when they watch a person, they don't really see the individual, but they see the spirit of that person, their gesture, how they walk, how they talk, and how their facial expressions. So those, I think, sort of things that you pick up, isn't it, when you observe people, isn't it? It's the spirit.
Yeah, but yeah, those are the things that we observe, the spirit of the person. But the spirit of the person can be deceiving because if he's high on alcohol, he'd behave very differently. He's If he's not drinking, he'd be very different. So that'll be a very tough part to be judgment. But do you know how? That's very interesting. I'll tell you. Do you know
Mm.
how do I judge people? How do I judge people? I judge people because most of the Assamese people that I meet who knows Dr. Bhupen, who knew Dr. Bhupen Hazarika, I used
Mhm.
to ask, I still ask them, which is your favorite song of Dr. Bhupen Hazarika? When he says that, I understand what kind of a person he is.
Wow.
You try that
Okay.
sometimes.
Oh my word.
He's
Okay.
got such varied, a diverse kind of work that he has done in
That's
his
true.
life. If
That's
somebody
true.
says that he loves Bimur Tomur Nikhatizen, then you
Mm,
understand that he's a very romantic kind of a person. He's a very
mm,
mushy mushy kind of a guy.
mm.
When he says other songs like Nila Nila Dekhu, then you understand that he's that kind of a guy. So this is a very nice way to understand people.
Very well said. I like that. Yeah, great. Okay,
Thank you.
now, um, so you have got many fans, and what I can say is you're not popular in just one certain group, but people who you work with, people who know you, people who see you on screen, people who hear you like this, they all find you pleasant. And I think it's one of the greatest qualities to have, but also a difficult quality to have. So I think my question would be, what do you think makes a person likable? And if I flip that question, what kind of personalities you find to be pleasant? Who are pleasant, you think?
The first word that comes to my mind when I think about someone who's pleasant to be with is
Mm,
that he has to be reliable. First, reliability is the first factor that comes into my mind because when you rely a person, you open up. When you open up, he opens up. When both of you open up, it becomes easy for you.
mm,
Secondly, most important thing that you need to maintain is being truthful all the time. When you're truthful, you don't have to change your statements. What you said yesterday is the same thing that you're going to say after 10 years. So that makes your life easier. Because I don't lie. When I lie, I feel that, I'm scared of somebody and I'm not, which I'm not. So the kind of respect I have for people, to keep that intact, to keep the graph going up, I need to be truthful all the time. So people who respect their commitment are reliable, are truthful. These are the two things. And the third thing is optimism. When you meet an optimist person, it's always very comfortable for you. Somebody who talks in a very optimistic way. See, what happens is the very simple thing. My mom used to tell me always that you're such a fool because sometimes you rely on people who you're not supposed to. And I used to tell her, for example, somebody comes and tells you and me that I'll take you for a ride day after tomorrow. You're a skeptical person, so you would not believe. You say,
Mm.
I don't know. Let's see. If he comes, he takes me, I'll be happy. Fine. And I say, I'll be very happy from the moment he tells me that he's going to take me day after tomorrow. So when the day comes and he doesn't take either of us, I'll be
Yes.
disappointed. You'll be disappointed too. But I enjoyed 2 days thinking about the fact that he will take me. You could
Mhm.
not enjoy those 2 days. So this
Okay.
is what sets, an optimist person and a pessimist person apart. So when you're with a very optimistic person, when you're with somebody who you can rely, when you have somebody who tells you the truth, you open up, he opens up, both of you open up, your friends. So what could be more pleasant than being with friends?
Okay, so you have picked up lots of things. You said, of course, loyalty. I mean, someone who is not dishonest. You have said truthful, reliable, and also you have said optimistic. Yeah, they're difficult to have, but I think also being consistent, isn't it? These things, if you show up consistently, that's when I think makes a difference. And yeah, I really wanted to know from you because you surely consistently show all that qualities and optimism.
Right.
I think positivity is something everybody talk about, that you exude. So
Right.
what is one quality that actors must have, you think?
Uh, they must be good people by heart because to react to imaginary character, to understand the pain of a different character that who he is not. You need to be very clean-hearted, very pure-hearted. Only then, if you think constantly, if you're attached, you're being selfish, you're attached to being Ravi Sharma, you cannot be the character that you're playing. You have to sometimes put that character at a higher ground than yourself. So you need to be a very pure-hearted people, and that's the reason probably when I went out and I met certain people, actors over here, sometimes actors from the Mumbai industry. When I met them, and I found out the higher I go, the humbler they
Mm,
get.
yes.
The higher I go, the humbler they are. So then, I got to understand, this is what sets good actors, apart from bad actors, which actually I don't believe there's any word called bad actor. There are either
Of
actors or
course.
non-actors. So,
Sure.
but people who are good actors, I found out they're beautiful people by heart. So I think that's very essential.
Wonderful. So, does that then mean that every good actor is a good human being, or it's difficult to say that
No, that's true. They really
if
should.
that's true?
Being good and bad.
Mm,
Somebody. It's like news. No news is good or bad. News is news. It's either good for you or it's bad for you. It's good for
got it.
somebody. Some news which is bad for you might be good for somebody else. So it's like that. When I
Sure.
say that you're a clean-hearted person, does not mean that you have to like him. It does not matter. What matters is
Yeah.
that that person has to be good. He's honest in towards his work. He's truthful. He's hardworking. He's passionate.
Yeah.
He's compassionate. No, he's a good
Mhm.
person.
Yeah, and also what you said, I think makes so much sense that you don't have to be liked, because if you are caring too much about who likes you, it's very difficult to be a good person, I suppose. I think they two both are
Right.
very different. Um, Also, I have
My
heard
dad.
actors.
So sorry. Yeah.
No, no, go
My
ahead.
my
Go
dad
ahead.
used to. Yeah, my dad used to say something which I love to quote most of the times.
Hmm.
Is that he said, if you're a good person, not everyone will like you. Most of the people will think that you're bad because actually you're good. Because if
Hmm.
you're a good person and you're loved by everyone, you're not a good person, you're simply diplomatic.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good one. And also because sometimes people do think probably you are good means there is some intention behind, but you can be just
Right.
good. Okay,
Right.
now I have also heard some actors saying this, that when they get bored, like, when they're bored of doing similar things, similar roles, that's when their real growth happens. Have you felt that way in your acting career, or you have never
Uh,
been bored?
See, there are quotations which say that you find new places when you lost. Similarly,
Mm,
when you're acting and you're bored with the things that you've been doing, you tend to, do something different. You tend to experiment. That's something which I learned when I was doing stage. When I was deeply into stage acting, I did stage for 9 years. I was into
right.
mobile theater.
Mhm.
So there we used to, just do 3 plays the whole year. The whole year we used to perform just 3 plays,
Mm,
and it became so monotonous. And it somehow, we learned it by heart. We had everything, dialogues and everything. We had it in our subconscious mind. We could think about something else and still deliver dialogues.
mm,
It became so mechanical. Only
mm,
then did I, try to experiment my character. I simply changed his mannerisms. I changed his walking style. I changed his sitting style. I changed his delivery style. I changed his looks. I changed the clothes. I changed the costume. So I experimented. So that's true. When you get bored, when you feel bored about, doing something monotonously, then you tend to, wander out, venture out, explore,
mm,
and then you find out new sides of yourself.
mm.
That's true.
Yeah, that's exactly what I actually read about actors' lives. That absolutely spot on. Because boredom basically makes your mind. You look for stimulation, hungers for stimulation, and that's when you dig deeper and you try to do things differently. And that's exactly what you have said, actually. So, what kind of an actor are you? And by that I mean, some actors thrive in a theater environment. Some do like film sets, some like the entertainment side of things, and for some actors having a bigger purpose, bigger message is very important. Where do you see yourself fitting in comfortably?
I don't know how do I answer this question, because um, different times, different mood. I'm into different things. When I used to be on stage, I
Mm,
used to enjoy the fact that I get to work with live music, because generally when we're shooting for a film and we do scenes in a very dry way, no music, no nothing. Even the sound of the camera is disturbing you sometimes. People right outside the frame holding a reflector distracts you. So it's somehow, it is not as pleasurable as you're working on stage. Because stage,
mm,
everything is said, you're working in sequence, and then in continuation, and then you're free to do whatever you want. Nobody can come and say cut, and then you're working with live music. So that's the kind of pleasure that I enjoy when I'm on stage. And when I come and when I'm in front of the camera, which cannot be cheated, because the camera can come real close to your face, real
true.
close to your eyes. So you
Mm,
have to harness the emotions in a way where you cannot cheat the camera. The camera is very sensitive; it sees everything. So there, working in front of the camera, a different set of qualities are required. So I enjoy that when I'm in front of the camera.
Mm.
Then you know when I'm amongst crowd and when I get everyone's attention, uh, I tend to enjoy the attention, and I tend to always set an example, be somebody good, so that they can look up to. I always feel the social responsibility that I have, uh, being an actor, being a celebrity, because people look up to me. See, I believe all the time that whatever happens in this world, whatever you do, starting from the gesture of your finger to your eyes to whatever you've done before you came to the show, whatever you're going to do after the show, has an impact in this world.
Mhm.
If you're looking for something on the road, suppose you require a pin, and you find a pin, so that connects you to the lady who had dropped the pin.
Mhm.
So the world is connected. So everything that you do has an impact on the world. So if every human being starts to think and understand this little responsibility that we have, life will become easier. So when I'm amongst people, I always want to set an example. I always want to have a very positive approach towards everything so that people learn. When I go out in public, I never put makeup. I never have makeup on my face. When I'm going for a talk show, I go, somewhere attending probably a award ceremony. I never put makeup, never,
Mm.
because I want people to see the ugly side of me, the bad side of me, so that they understand that he's human. If that human being can become an actor and do wonders on a screen, if that human being who has a spot on his face can do that, even I can do something. So that'll inspire that person. So that is how we move lives.
Mhm.
That is the kind of responsibility that actors are supposed to have. We cannot simply say things in a very irresponsible kind of a manner. I cannot tell the kids that it's okay to smoke because I smoke and I maintain a good physique. He learns something very, very, very wrong, and
Mm.
exceptions cannot be examples.
Mhm.
There are exceptions. Exceptions cannot be examples. So I have to be very careful how I talk, how I interact, how I behave, how I react. How do I respond to a hello when somebody addresses me, when somebody. So I have to be conscious all the time. So I enjoy all the sides of an actor. I cannot
Mm.
particularly tell you that I enjoy this or I enjoy that. I enjoy everything because those are the only variations that I have in life because I don't know anything else. I just know acting. That's all.
Mm. Well, you have got too much going on there, so probably you don't need anything else. But what you have actually said is does make so much sense because we all have to be responsible how we show up in the world. And of course, for you, because you have got a fan following, people look up to you. But then I think it's for every citizen. I think we all got
Yeah,
to
it's for
show up
everyone.
for everyone. Yeah. So it's so wonderful to hear all of that, that you stressed on all those points. My next question was actually going to be something that we have already answered. But I do see that today's actors, they're not just actors, like you said. They endorse, they host award functions, they host live shows, so much more, and nothing wrong with any of it. But I want to know your viewpoint. Do you think that that can sometimes be kind of a distraction in flourishing the artist side of an actor? Do you feel that way, or I think that's the part of an ecosystem,
No, that's a part of an actor, and that's his personal choice entirely.
right?
Because you see, when I endorse a product, I always, I honestly, check whether the quality of the product that I'm endorsing. Honestly,
Hmm.
because last time I endorsed some kind of a water storage tank, and they claimed that it will not break if it falls from 10-story building. I said, drop it first. I want to see if it doesn't break.
Hmm.
So it did not break. Then I said my dialogues that this is a good tank, it does not break. So, that is the kind of reputation that I built. It's not just a product that I'm endorsing. Before I sell the product, I have to sell myself. So I need to be very clean and clear so that if I'm reliable, people will rely on what I say. I don't want people to simply, understand that, well, he's taken a lot of money to endorse that product, so he's saying it does not matter. So the whole business of having making an ad or endorsing a product will fail because
Totally.
everybody knows that he's getting paid to do that. So
Yeah.
if he's an honest person and he says it's good, then I'm going to realize that it really works in the real sense. So I don't blame actors who do that for money, just money, because. But I have a few principles that I haven't done in my life. Recently, not recently, many times I have refused to endorse for alcohol brands. I said I'm ready to do condom ads, but I'm not ready to do alcohol. I said I'll
Absolutely.
never endorse cigarettes, and I'll never do anything which is, I never said, I never ever asked anyone to have a, aerated beverage of any kind because I know those are bad. I always ask people not to consume sugar because I know it's bad. So this is the kind of life that I have, and very honestly, the reason why I do that is that, see, I have kids, and everybody would obviously pamper and love my kids when I'm around because they're scared that if they misbehave with my kids, I might go and punch them, right? So nobody will ill treat a kid in front of the parent. But what kind of a treatment they get when I'm not around is actually what I have earned. That is my earning. When I'll not be around, they'll still be loved. People will say they're his son. They need to be, loved. The kind of love that I could not give the father, I'll give the kid. So that
That's
is my
wonderful.
earning. So those are principles that I carry along wherever I go. Those are the responsibilities that I feel wherever I go. So this is the reason why I am this kind of a person, where I can boldly say I'm a very nice person. I'm a very good person,
Of course you are.
very
Absolutely.
confidently.
Yeah. Absolutely you are. Now, we haven't really spoken much about Assamese film industry. You have, you have witnessed the transitions happening in the film industry over the years. Audiences' tastes are changing. Subject matters are so much more varied now, and that's the world cinema scenario. Um, what's your view on Assamese films and the industry and the way it's progressing? I mean, how do you feel?
See, the directors that we have are people who have the capability of creating something good or required for the people to see. We are doing very good. We are doing 10 on 10 about it. But the fact that movies you know, aren't just things to be put in the cultural heading and finish it off. You cannot just contain them in a container like cultural field. It is commerce. And the problem with our people that I have openly said every day is that we don't want to come out of our comfort zone. First, secondly, we like and appreciate everything that is old. We don't like to accept something which is new. This is the
Mm,
reason, this is one of the major reasons why people of our industry do not dare to experiment. See, one scriptwriter, Bhaskar Hazarika, good
yes.
friend of mine, he attempted to punch uh, romance and cannibalism in his movie. So it was very, uh, it was like, it was critically appreciated, but most of the people, masses, did not like it.
Oh,
They
do you
said,
mean Amis? Is it the movie
yeah,
Amis,
Amis,
right?
right,
Yes,
right,
it's a
Amis.
lovely movie.
So, but
Beautiful.
but think about the kind of courage the guy has
Yeah.
to experiment. He had experimented
Mm.
something which is very new to us, but it was not accepted by people. I've met my friends who have watched the movie who said that you have every right to have an imagination, but you've got no right to show it to me.
Okay.
What do we understand from that statement? So it's that people are not willing to change easily. And change is exactly what's happening in the industry right now. We were doing good movies. Ours is probably the fourth oldest industry in India, 80
Mhm.
plus, 80 some, 86 or 87 years, I don't remember very well. But we are not doing very, commercially, we are not doing very well. The reason being, we are caught up in a very vicious cycle, you see.
Mhm.
People don't come to the cinema hall because they don't find quality in movies. We cannot give quality because we cannot spend. We cannot spend because people don't come to the halls. So we're caught up in this vicious cycle. Somebody has to break that cycle. And
Mhm.
to break that cycle, either the producer has to take a risk by spending more money that he really should buy census, or the people should take a risk that I'll watch any movie that's asked me is because I want the industry to grow.
Mhm.
Nobody's doing their part.
Mhm. No.
So to do that, yeah, somebody has to come forward, have to take the risk so that we can get this giant wheel, to
Mm.
turn. Once it
Wow.
turns, gains momentum, everything will fall into place. And this is something, movies are things which are related to dreams. It cannot be small. It has to be big.
It has to
It
be.
has to
Yeah.
be big. And it's a huge machinery involving, more than probably 200 people in one project. So it's a huge project. It cannot run slowly. It'll either run or halt, come to a halt. So when it's turning, it means it's okay, it's working. But we need to think wider. We need to stop thinking that this is just an Assamese movie. It's
Mhm.
the language is Assamese, but movies are universal. Any and
Absolutely.
everyone in this world can watch a movie if it's good. We've
Yeah.
watched Apocalypto, right? Mel Gibson
Mhm.
directed it. We watched it. I
Mhm.
never understood a word of it. And
That's it.
unfortunately, when I watched the movie, there was no subtitles either. I
Mm.
watched it, I understood. We still understand Tamil. We
That's
watch
it.
Tamil
Yeah.
movies, right? So
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is what they give the content in a way where people would understand quality. They'll get to quench their thirst of being the actor, because people who watch the movie becomes the actor. So that
So
kind of a
true.
dream is going on. That kind of an
Mhm.
activity, that kind of a big thing is happening in the mind. When you come out of a movie where of Bruce Lee, I almost feel like I'm Bruce Lee. This is what happens. This is the magic of movie. So you got
Yes.
to
Yeah. Yeah.
respect that.
Yeah, you do. You do. I mean, what you have said, it resonates so well because, before Janu Borwa sir, he came here as well. And he said similar things that I think he wanted to stop making movies because all the movies he was making, putting so much of effort, but people don't go to watch them. So he's like, for whom am I making this? Zarifa Wahid, she came and she said, some people also take pride in saying that they don't watch Assamese films.
Assamese
So
movies, right?
so she's like, look, there is a cultural issue as well. So there are things going on. And I think we got to all act together. And you said it so honestly. I think that's a huge thing as well. Finance, we all know, finance has always been an issue, but there are other perception problems, the cultural problem. So I think audience has to also come forward, I suppose.
Right.
So that's all cinema. Now you are here. If we don't talk about fitness, I think I will not do justice. All the young actors and generally people get inspired by your fitness journey. And you started out at the time when I think there was very little awareness about fitness. I mean, today it
True.
has gained popularity, but with that also comes so much information. Some of that can be quite misleading as well. So, from your experience of probably over 30 years of being in the fitness journey, what are some of the
35,
myths?
35 to be correct.
35. Okay. I said
35.
over 30, so about 35. Great.
Yeah.
Um, So, what are some of the myths around fitness that you can confidently say that people are better off not following? Because there's so much information, people I think can be misleading. Yeah.
See, the most important thing, the reason why I am very happy to talk about this is because I
Mm,
take pride that the kind of food that Assamese people eat is a very scientific kind of food. It's
mhm.
the most accurate food that I've observed in my entire sporting life and whatever I've learned related to health and fitness. The kind of food that our ancestors used to talk about, the kind of variety of food that we eat. We all know certain people eat a lot of oil, certain people eat a lot of chilies, certain people eat a lot of sour things. And think about the cuisine of the Assamese cuisine. We have everything. Tenga, tita, jola, mitha,
Mhm. Car.
khar, acid, everything. We have everything.
Mm,
So it's very diverse, variety.
mhm,
And then our ancestor used to say, Komai khabi, ghanai khabi. Eat less,
mm,
eat frequently. So this is what has come around, you see. Today, people are talking about frequent meals, smaller meals.
mhm,
So I'm proud for that background. Only problem is that we started playing with the quantity of food because
mm.
when we love something, we ate so much of rice that it's excess of carbs. But if we go by the Assamese kind of food, which is very balanced, and if we eat in the correct quantities, it is very easy to maintain a physique. The bases are eat only the amount that you can burn. No storage fat is required. Myth that goes on is মই তো মাছ মাংস নাখাওঁৱেই মই কিয় ইমান শকত মই নাজানো. They
Mm.
say I don't eat much meat, I don't eat
Everyone is.
much fish. The fish and meat won't get you fat. What gets you
Mm,
fat is carbs, a lot of carbs, unnecessary carbs, carbs that you cannot burn.
mhm,
So this is the kind of myth that we have.
mm.
And then when I talk to girls and I ask them to go and weight train, they say I don't want muscles like a boy.
Right.
They have to understand you cannot build muscles because you don't have those kind of hormones. Boys, they say মোক ইমান ডাঙৰ physique নালাগে এনেই fit থাকিলে হ'ল.
Mm.
It is not very easy to have a huge physique. It's
That's
really
it.
tough. You have to
That's it.
go against nature to build a body like that. It's not
Mhm,
easy. It's not something that you don't want to. It's probably something that you can't make. So that is another thing. Third thing is
mhm.
that you have to, understand the right amount of workout and the right amount of food. There's a proportion. You have to know that. If you maintain those things, it's very easy to maintain a physique. And lastly, and the most importantly, most of think, and talks in terms that they come to
Uh,
me and they say,
let's turn around
they
some.
come
I
to me
think.
and ask, yeah,
Yeah.
you get it? Yeah.
Yeah.
They come to me and say, sir, আপোনাৰ নিচিনা body hobo kiman din lagibo? Now, how many days can I build a physique like you? I
Mm,
tell them that I did not build it in days, and bodybuilding is not a course, it's a process. You have to continue. I've been doing this for the last 35 years now, and that is the reason why I'm still, maintaining. So these are the kind of myths that needs to be cleared. And
mm.
it's not a very tough thing to do. Certain
No.
companies that promote, uh, equipments, workout equipment, certain companies that promote supplements, they
Mhm,
make it look very hard and very tough, but it's not that tough, honestly. We've been doing this since ages, since the day when we were recognized as human beings. We did this. We used to run, we used to hunt, and
mhm,
then we used to eat less because there was less food. We had to hunt for it. As simple as that. If you eat much and you don't work out much, obviously you're going to grow a big belly and then
mhm.
you cannot move. You get lazy. You can't even move more. You grow more fat. And one day, when you think you're going to enjoy your life after retirement, you start
Mm.
visiting the hospital. So,
Absolutely.
no point. So,
Yeah.
if you don't have health by your side, you've got nothing. Honestly, I tell you, nothing. You have to be
Mm.
healthy all the time. Even if you're poor, you need to be healthy. Even if you're rich, you need to be healthy. Even if you're busy, you need to be healthy. Even if you have a lazy life, you need to be healthy. Health is something that you cannot compromise.
Mhm. No, okay. That was powerful, I think, what you said, all of it. It really was. Because I think in a fitness, like you said, it can be simple and it has to be a part of your life because healthy is what you are after. We are not really
Exactly.
after, probably eight pack, six pack. And like you have said, we already have a great base of our food, isn't it? You don't
Yeah,
change
we
what
really
you
do.
grow up eating. Yeah. It's just being mindful what we're putting, how much we're eating, what food value we have. So I think coming from you, it's always, I think, quite nice for people to hear and get those tips. So thank you for that. Now, here's a specific, I wasn't thinking of asking, but I'm asking you only because you have actually said that when you go out you don't put makeup on because you want people to see the real you, and I think it's so beautiful to get that message. So my question would be, I mean, you are known as a good looking actor, you know that very well, and in the glamour industry or in the actor's life, people who are known as good looking, they usually do not like to agree, at least in public, that their appearance have helped them in their career, especially in the initial stage. Except someone like Meryl Streep, the Hollywood actress, who said all she had was beauty when she started out. What's your viewpoint? Do you think,
Yeah,
goodness helps?
yeah. That's probably the entry ticket, you see, because when I was into modeling, the first thing, because nobody, when I didn't even do Yadi Aniya, I did
Mm,
not act there. Nobody knew how if I could act or not, because my first entry was that I had a good physique, I was good looking, so that was my first entry. But to sustain, to be there, you need a lot of other things as well. Because beauty, as we all know, if somebody says that I am good looking, I would disagree. Because if you put me, amongst native people of Africa, I would be the ugliest one because their sense of beauty is something very different.
true. Yeah.
So I would be too fair, I would be short, I would be probably, I would probably, have chicken legs in compared to them. That's a those are people, those are big race people, they're big sized people, the big race.
Mhm.
So I would be very ugly there. So beauty is not that. Beauty is how you maintain yourself and how pleasant you are when you're talking.
But I'm
Beauty
actually
is there.
Yeah, no, I'm actually glad that you said it helps because
Yes.
someone said that because most people they do not like agreeing that at least publicly. And like you said, of course, sure, otherwise every pretty person will make it. Surely not. But then when people don't know about that your talent, they see your appearance, right? And at least you have said yes to that. So thank you.
Yes, that's true. And you see, it's like that's just the entry point.
Of
That's
course.
just where you get an admission. After
Hmm.
that, you need to stay there. You need a lot of other things. And then,
Exactly.
if you think about, math algebra without the X, so
Mm.
similarly in our profession, the X factor is very important, and X is something which nobody knows what it is. Somebody's good looking, but I don't like, something about him. That something is X.
Mm.
He's not a very good looking person, but I love him. I don't know why. So that Y is actually the X. So there are other factors as well.
Hmm.
But
Oh
to
God,
get you
yes.
into it, you need certain physical attributes.
Hmm. Okay, good. That's good to hear. Now, from fitness to acting to politics, you joined BJP, and then you left the party during CAA protest. I don't know what's your status now. You will tell us, but what's why politics, and what was the driving force, and what change you want to see?
Um, See, we make mistakes sometimes, and I'm not ashamed of admitting it. First and foremost, What happened was when I was into acting, we were people. I am a personality where people loves me. They would do that for me. What they would do everything to to make me feel happy when I'm in public. People, I never had to change a tire if I had a flat one sometimes when I was alone. There's people used to come and tell me that, sir, I'll do it. Please, up बैठिए sir. अपनी बहुत मैं कोई दिया so I'll do it. So we've been used to that kind of love, that kind of pampering.
Mhm.
But when you actually see what we had in papers, is that we have nothing. Once I went to some place and there was this non-Assamese guy who was in charge of the VIP parking area, and he said he'll not let me park my car there. I
Mhm.
felt bad. So everybody loves me. And what I did was I put my car somewhere else and I stood in front of the parking, VIP parking, where a lot of people gathered and the parking was clogged, it was blocked. So he had to come and, request me to move aside. Said, sir, please आप side हो जाइए वरना वो लोग सारे यहाँ पे हैं. Sir, I did not do anything. I'm a normal person, you said. Why do that? So I thought I needed some kind of a power. Obviously, people love that. Even I love that.
Mhm.
And when I saw people from our fraternity who wasn't politics had the power of helping people in certain ways,
Sure.
when some other artist was facing some kind of an economical problem, they
Mhm.
used to come, with a donation of 50,000 rupees or 1 lakh or something. So
Mhm.
it felt good because everybody started thanking him or her. Thank you, ma'am, so and so. Thank you, sir, so and so. You did this for me. It felt good. I wanted to do that too. And then the other reason was that I was experienced in two fields. Firstly, I was a good sportsman because I was a national gymnast.
Mhm.
I was a state level athlete. I was a martial artist. I still am one. I was a powerlifter. So I was into sports, so I knew sports. I knew what kind of a sentiment a sportsman has. So if I would have had a post where I could, help and support the sportsman, because I knew the kind of mentality a sportsman has, how he could be heard, where he feels, honored, the kind of sentiment that he carries all around. So I thought I could work better in those fields if I had the power to do that. So I thought of joining the BJP. Everybody was doing BJP. Everybody loved BJP at the time when they came into power. Even the mandate, the people gave mandate to the BJP. So that seemed quite fair at that time. So I joined in, and I was expecting that when this cab was first introduced, I thought they would exempt us as well, like the other
Right.
states.
Mhm.
So I was hoping, against all hopes, that probably they would someday, amend the cab and in Assam. So I joined in. But when they were, adamant on the same bill and it was accepted, and then I thought it was not good for me because there was a difference in ideology. I learned a lot of good things from BJP. I learned a lot of good things, good qualities, but this is where I had a difference in opinion, a difference in ideology. So I came out. And the moment I came out, I realized I got even busier after I came out than I was when I was in the party. So I
Okay.
thought actually this is the role I'm supposed to play. Because if I were somebody's collar, I have to bark on their behalf. And I was not willing to bark.
Mhm.
I wanted to be with the people, I wanted to be their voice because I have the opportunity. I am blessed, you know, uh, with the ability to be amongst people who loves me. So I can be their voice. Their voice would not be heard, but my voice would be heard. So I wanted to be a sentinel for the society. So now I think this is the best state that I can ever have, and I promise I never want to be I never want to get into politics. I want to be the way I am. I want to be an artist. I want to die an artist with my boots on. That's
Oh, okay. Well, wonderful. So if you didn't try, you didn't know. I think that's what happened to you. You
it.
tried,
Yes.
but yeah, like you said, the values didn't align. Good enough. Yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough. Now you have done so many things in life, from sports to acting to directing as well, fitness, happily married, children. What's next for you?
Uh, Now I want to practically make our industry, our film industry, our industry. Because see, what happened was whenever we used to make a film or make a movie, we had to hire people from outside. The fight master that used to work in our movie usually came from Hyderabad or came from Mumbai.
Right.
Now I'm planning to create people, Assamese people,
Hmm.
who would be paid for their job in an equal amount. A technician from Hyderabad gets, he'll get the equal amount of money. I'll be saving money because I don't have to, pay him for conveyance. I don't have to pay him for his accommodations.
Hmm.
I'll pay him equally. So his work, his payment gets increased. And secondly, when I finish off with the product, it's a totally Assamese product. My boys will never leave home. Guys who did their sound engineering are all scattered in Mumbai or Hyderabad or outside, but they're not here because they know they'll not be hired here. They know that people who come back from abroad are more valued in Assam. So I want to create an opportunity for them where they'll get a job here, where a parent tomorrow can say or can dream of his son becoming an actor. Today, they just dream of making their son a doctor or an engineer. They
True.
never plan, they never think that their son should become an actor. They appreciate me. They appreciate the other actors, but they never want their son to be one.
I
So
hope things are
this is my
changing.
attempt.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Best wishes for that
Thank you.
mission. It's a big one. It's a big one, really. But listen, it's we are going to end soon. But before that, I've got very few quick questions, and I'd expect quick answers. So you fine with
I'll
that?
try.
You
I'm very bad at this, I must tell you.
ready?
I'm
No,
really
don't
bad at
worry.
this.
I think you'll be good at it. And I'll keep them easy for you. So, who was your first crush?
My class teacher,
Okay. Did you? Okay. I think that's everybody's story. um, w- my next question would be, so three female co-stars that you enjoy working with.
you ought to get me killed. Uh, there are a lot. I actually love working with everyone, but if I really count, I am most comfortable with Borja, and then I'm very comfortable on stage with my wife, and then the others.
Do you know what? I don't want to hear wife and all because you
But
would
that's
be
true, honestly. But that's true. I really enjoy working with her because she's a great actor on stage,
confident.
and she's really competitive. So it's a big challenge working with her always.
Okay, now that's a good answer, but I know you avoided my question. Anyways, so who do you think makes the best on-screen chemistry with you? Don't say Moitri, please.
It's Borja. It's Borja.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Um, three things that you think are not necessary in life that most people run after.
Well, that's a very philosophical question, but
But you have realized, you must have realized by now that these things are not
three
necessary.
things that you don't really need. First and foremost would be that's a very random answer though. But first and foremost, I don't think the only thing that's ruining everything, the quality and value of life, love, and everything is the handset, the smartphone that we carry. It's ruining
True.
everything. That is the number one thing that we don't require. And the second thing is that the greed that we have, we don't require that. Uh,
Mhm.
we can we can always minimize our requirements, but we don't do that. That is something that we don't require. And third is that communal thinking.
Mhm.
People who think very communally, we don't require those kind of thoughts here. We're human beings, and the wider you get, we're living beings. If you consider yourself to be a living being, you love everything around you.
Wonderful. And finally, then, what is one change you want to see in the world, but specifically in Assam?
Political party.
Change in political party, right? Okay, all
Yeah.
right. Listen. Okay, listen, we'll have to end here. But can I just say I had a wonderful time talking to you, and
Same
I
here.
think yeah, your answers were, to be honest, hamper worthy, but I don't have one to give away. But thank you for your time and for all the wonderful things you said. And also, I think giving so much joy through your films. People love you for not just the kind of work you do, but the person you are. So, yeah, best wishes for everything and keep well. And goodbye for now.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me in your show. And the kind of questions that you asked really, helped me express myself as a person. And thank you all for watching. Thank you for the love that you've given me. And I promise to stay the way I am.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you to everyone
Thank
who
you.
are watching and to the Sentinel as well. And yeah, goodbye for now. Goodbye, Ravi.
Thank you. Goodbye.